Welcome back, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for our soft flow and restore practice. My name is Annie. I'm going to guide you through tonight. So tonight's practice will be very restorative. We'll spend a lot of time on the ground, a lot of time grounding and working on stretching through the legs and hips. So go ahead and grab a couple blocks, a couple bolsters, blanket, towel, whatever you have at home. That will facilitate a bit of an easier stretch. We're going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. So lining up that first block with your spine. The second block you will utilize for the crown of the head. And so depending on how your spine feels today, you can choose which setting to set your block on. And so take your time here as you get set up, making little micro adjustments to get even just 1% more comfortable. You might choose to have the hands on the belly. You might choose to place a hand on the belly and the hand on the heart. Or maybe you lay both arms at your side and really lean into this sensation of letting go. I invite you to gently close your eyes or simply soften your gaze. And without trying to alter or change anything at this point, I invite you to simply observe and feel what it's like to be in your body this morning. Guiding your awareness first to the crown of the head. Feeling the connection of the crown and your block. Feeling the connection of the block to the earth. And as you imagine this incredible support that you're receiving from the earth, imagine relaxing even further. Guide your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows. Relaxing all the little muscles in the face. And as you soften your jaw, the tongue begins to float in the middle of the mouth. And as the tongue begins to float in the middle of the mouth, you might feel an ease of breathing as you notice the sensation of breath entering in through the nose and making its way down to the bottom part of your belly. Guiding your awareness now to your arms and your shoulders, allowing the weight of the hands to become incredibly heavy. You might notice some sensations in the palms of the hands. Maybe it's tingling, maybe it's warmth. And as you guide your mind's eye to each space in the body. Without judgment, without an agenda, simply observe, simply notice. Your mind's eye travels across the chest, onto the belly, and you feel the effortless nature of the breath as it expands the belly on an inhalation. Every exhalation is a simple, effortless letting go. Begin to guide your awareness now to your glutes, your outer and inner thighs. Notice the calves and the heels. You might even notice the toes. And with every cycle of breath, allowing yourself to relax and soften as if you were being held by the very earth yourself. Now begin to focus your energy on your breathing. As you inhale, purposefully taking in more breath, feeling that expansion of not only the belly, but the ribs and the chest. And as you exhale, intentionally pressing the air out. You might even begin to draw the navel into the spine. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Slowing this process down. Lengthening out the breath as you inhale. Lengthening out the breath as you exhale. Doing this another 10 times at your own pace, moving nice and slow. More times, actively lengthening out your breath. And 3 more. Nurturing and nourishing breaths. last one, the biggest breath you've taken a day. Big breath in. And bigger breath out. Very gently drawing the knees back together. And take a moment here and walk your heels out to the side, a little counter stretch for the hips. Preparing for a little bit of movement. Hook the fingers behind the thighs and roll yourself very gently up to a seat. Feet come out nice and wide. You're going to relax the torso in between the thighs. Crown of the head drops down. Take a big breath into the mid-back. And a bigger breath out. 5 more times, just like that. Inhaling to expand. Exhaling to contract. A few more times, allowing gravity to release any tension stored in the spinal column, even releasing tension through the shoulders and through the crown. And through your breaths. Rolling up to a seat when you're ready. We're going to swing the legs around. You're going to grab those blocks nearby. Let's extend that right leg out to the side. Left foot comes in. We're going to square off that right leg. Feel your sits bones on the mat. Begin to draw the toes in towards the shin. Taking a moment here. Hands come out to the side. On the inhalation, reach the fingertips overhead. You're going to pivot towards the right. That hip crease draws back as you reach towards the toes. We're going to grab a hold of the foot here to begin. The toes come back. When you press through the heel, you're going to feel that stretch here in the back of the thigh. On the inhalation, lengthen through the spine. Breath in. On the exhalation, let's dive a little bit deeper, drawing the torso a little bit closer towards that thigh. And you might even choose to relax the head on the knee. We're finding a bit more of an active stretch right now, utilizing the strength in the arms to draw the toes back. Let's take a few breaths. Notice what's coming up for you in this place. Allow yourself to let go as you dive a little bit deeper. You'll find new layers of tightness in the body as we stay here a little bit longer. And as you do, see if you might deepen a breath. And intentionally releasing stress, releasing tension from the body. On the inhalation, let's unravel for a moment, finding your flat back. Breath in. On the exhalation, let's dive a little bit deeper. Draw the chest down, breath out. We're going to be here for about 10 or so breaths. And if this is a little too deep, you're always welcome to utilize your blocks underneath your arms, propping yourself up just a little bit more. Allow the awareness to go inward. These forward folding postures are typically very introspective postures. And so allowing that process, allow yourself to dive deeper inside. Layer by layer, soften and relax. Allow yourself to release any resistance around this pose. Breathe in and breathe out. And take another 5 deep breaths in. When you're ready, very gently, let's begin to walk ourselves out, starting with the hands. And take a moment in these transitions. You might pause at the top here. You might even choose to close down your eyes. But being mindful to move very methodically, very slowly. And so switching sides here, that left leg extends out, right foot comes in, making the adjustments that you need in order to find your sits bones on the mat. Toes draw in towards the shin, and you might frame that left foot with your blocks. Inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky. And as you exhale, we're going to pivot towards that left leg. Reach out even further beyond it. Let's take a moment here just to feel the difference with this side. I'm not going to dive too deep too quickly. On the inhalation, lengthen through the spine. So instead of rounding the back, we're going to lengthen through it first. You might feel a deep stretch there, and maybe that's as far as you want to go today. Or when you're ready, start to draw the chest down, pull the toes towards you, and you might even tiptoe the fingers towards the heel. Let's relax the crown down. And if this side isn't as flexible as the other side, or it feels a little bit different, that's okay. Give yourself permission to be a little different on each side. And something to move towards as far as balance goes. Just like about 10 breaths. Nice and easy. If the mind starts to wander, very gently draw it back to this time and space. Let's take 3 more breaths. On the inhalation, unravel the spine, find your flat back, pause here, breath in, and on the exhalation, diving even deeper, draw the toes in, relax the front of the head, breath out. And then breathe here for about 10 breaths. Be mindful to slow the breath down. And as you slow the breath down, you'll notice that the thoughts, the inner dialogue, begins to slow as well. Take 5 more big breaths. When you're ready, centering things, let's walk it back up very gently. Nice. Pause once you get to the top. Really just allow yourself to soften and relax. Allow yourself to adjust. When you're ready, we're going to move into our straddle stretch. So both feet out to the side. You might need to kind of move some things around. Once you find that place, we're not going to move too deep too quick. This is one of those that is typically pretty tight for most of us. So once you find your place, toes come in towards the shin. So you're flexing the toes in. You want to feel both of your sits bones on the mat. So you feel that connection here because it's hurting your low back, utilizing your hands as kind of a kickstand. Before we go any deeper, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a big breath into the belly and a breath out through the mouth. Twice more. In and out. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in and out. Beautiful. You might choose to stay here. Or you might choose to slowly start to shift the body forward. You're going to feel sensation. I want you to move until you feel resistance. Okay? To that point where you feel too much resistance and the body backs off. Take a big breath. Stay here for a little bit. You might choose to relax the crown down. And I want you to find your edge. Breathe into it and see what happens. We're just taking this one layer at a time. Not trying to create a certain shape. Not even trying to create a certain feeling. Simply being here today and observing what that feels like. So let's take a few more effortless breaths. You might choose to stay here longer. And whenever you're ready, moving maybe a little bit deeper into this pose. And so maybe you move your blocks out a little bit further, continually drawing the toes in towards the shins, and then pointing the toes to the ceiling. So you're going to feel that external rotation of your thighs as you do that. On the inhalation, lengthen through your spine. On the exhalation, let's dive a little bit deeper. Relax the crown of the head down. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to be here for about 10 slow breaths. We are in no rush whatsoever. Our only intention is to be present. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back. Halfway through. And if you want to move a little bit further to that very edge, now's the time to do so. A couple more breaths. Take 3 more big breaths. Much slower than you think. One step at a time, slowly start to come out of this. And so you'll first come to the hands. Take a few breaths here, allow the body to adjust. Being just as mindful getting out of this pose as we are in it. Just as mindful as when we're moving from pose to pose. Slowly walk it back. And then bring the heels together. From here, we're going to find a nice little counter stretch utilizing Gomukhasana. So that right foot, that right knee is going to bend. Right heel is going to come towards the left glute. You want to find both sits bones on the mat. Then you're going to step that left foot over the right. And then that left heel is going to come towards your right glute. I like to lift my hips up. That way I can find the alignment that I need for my body. The goal is to stack one knee on top of the other. And that might not happen today or tomorrow or anytime soon, but that's our goal. And so when you find your alignment at whatever point, noticing how that feels and where you're feeling it. And so just becoming aware of how the body feels rather than trying to create a certain shape. We're moving towards some things, but we're finding that yoga along the way. And so I like to utilize my blocks here. We're going to take a few moments moving really slowly into this, lengthening through the spine here. You're going to feel the sensation of squeezing your inner thighs together. And at the same time, as you flex the toes, you're going to feel yourself pulling yourself apart. So let's take a few big breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Twice more. Big breath in, bigger breath out. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. And maybe you choose to stay here, or maybe you start to shift the torso forward, relaxing it on the thighs. This is where I like to utilize the blocks on my forearms and make those little micro adjustments here so that you have the base of the alignment, which is your sits bones on the mat and your knees moving towards being that stacked position, and then toes flexed in. And you might play around with different variations here. Pay attention to the sensations that you're feeling in your body. So you might lengthen through the spine here. On the exhalation, let's relax the crown down and relax my head either on my knee or maybe one chin on the side. I'm going to be here for about 10 breaths. The breath is effortless. Feel yourself moving into sensation instead of moving away from that sensation. When things get intense or maybe even a little uncomfortable, give yourself permission to feel in this moment. Guide your mind's eye to any particular places of tightness. And without trying to change anything, just notice. Feel the weight of the torso as it rests heavy on the thighs. One layer at a time, releasing even further. Let's take another 3 nourishing breaths here as we dive even deeper. Slowly Let's begin to unwind, coming first to the hands. Pausing here and noticing any differences that you feel. Observing the sensations that are coming up. Breathing easily and effortlessly. When you're ready, moving to the second side, let's unwind the legs. And before we go, let's extend them out in front. Give them a little shake, a little wobble to let that energy go. Maybe roll through the ankles if you like. And then from here, bending through that left knee, left heel comes towards the right glute. Right foot steps on the outer side. Take your time, find that foundation. And if it looks like this and that's your pose for today, that's beautiful. If you want to go a little bit further, move until you find sensation. Toes flex in towards the shin. You're going to feel a lot of sensation moving through the IT band. So once you find your shape, let's take a few moments here for this to settle in. Big breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Breathe in, breathe out. Breath in, breath out. Beautiful. Sink the hips down even deeper, lengthen through the spine. And when you're ready, shifting it forward, relaxing your torso on your thighs. Utilize the blocks, if you like, as I'm doing underneath my forearms. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let's dive it down. Relax the crown and breathe. If your mind starts to wander, draw it back. Allow the weight of the body to become more and more heavy. Allow your awareness to drift to the tight spaces in the body. Be here for another 10 or so breaths. Focusing your energy on breathing deeply here. Allowing every exhalation to release stress, to peel off these layers of tension from the body. And take another 5 or so breaths. Another 3 breaths here. Big, nourishing inhalations, followed by effortless exhalations. Very slow, slower than you think. Let's unwind from this pose, coming up to the hands, pausing here for a moment, lengthening through the spine, and just noticing what you're feeling in your body right now. Become aware of every sensation without trying to label it, without trying to change it, and simply noticing. When you're ready to fully unwind, release the legs, and let's extend them out in front. You might give them a little shake, a little wobble. We're going to find a very supported forward fold. And so you might choose to utilize the blocks here. If you have a bolster or blanket, you might choose to place that in your lap, giving yourself a little more support. On the inhalation, let's lengthen through the spine, find those sits bones. And on the exhalation, shifting forward, reaching out. You might grab the feet, you might not. And let's pause here for a moment. You're going to feel all 4 sides of your feet as if you're standing on a wall in front of you. So imagine if your feet are coming sickling in or sickling out. You want to feel that equal footing here. You might use the strength of the hands as you inhale, lengthen through the spine, breath in. And as you exhale, let's draw it forward, and the crown comes towards the knees. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't touch. And if you need a little extra support here, utilizing the block underneath the crown is a wonderful option. We want this to be a very supported forward. And so instead of trying to drag the body down, allowing it to naturally get there for your gravity, and then letting go. We'll be here for 10 breaths. To become effortless. And breath comes and goes. Another 5 or so breaths here. Ready? Very slowly, let's unwind, step the hands back. Finding your way back to that comfortable seated position. And just take a moment before we move, observing this stillness, this energy that courses through our body. When you're ready, we're going to make our way onto our backs. And so you'll want a block for this next posture. So this next one, we're going to find a supported bridge pose. And so we're going to plant the feet down on the mat, press through the heels, reach the hips high, and slide that block underneath. Depends on your body, the height of the block. We're going to find a fallen bridge. We're going to bring the knees together and the feet out nice and wide. Make those little micro adjustments in order for your body to be even just 1% more comfortable. Once you've found it, close your eyes, soften your gaze, and let go. Allow the body to become incredibly heavy. Feel this beautiful release from the low back. You might notice your nervous system softening, calming. Without trying to change or get to any certain space, simply observing how it feels. No judgments or agenda in today's practice. We'll be here for another 5 or 10 breaths, allowing the body to sink even deeper into the space. You might choose to stay here a bit longer, or you might reach your heels towards the ceiling, finding that waterfall pose, creating a little more of an inversion for this posture. Breath comes and goes. Let's take another 5 big breaths here.
ready, begin to unwind by planting the feet on the mat. Lift the hips up, remove the block, and then draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze here. You might even rock it out a little bit from side to side, allowing this low back release. We're going to find a final twist. Tee your arms out to the side. You're going to drop the knees to the right, gentle gaze over your left shoulder. I like to utilize my right hand to support my left knee, and this kind of intensifies the stretch. It allows you to guide it a little deeper. And so as you do, you might even take that second hand and draw that hip back. You're going to feel that intensify through the back of the body as well. And so we're going to take about 5 slow breaths here. We're in no rush whatsoever. Feel that connection that you have with your shoulders on the mat. Allow the breath to come and go in an effortless and easy pattern. You might draw your awareness to the space in between your eyebrows, relaxing even deeper. Soften your jaw. Let's take another 5 breaths. Let's move to the second side, shifting the hips over, and dropping the knees down to the left. That left hand guides the right knee down, and then that right hand acts to support. You might even shift down, and you'll feel this in your low back. And so you're giving yourself a little adjustment. And so you're feeling that intensity. You might feel that sensation here even through the glute. Well, let's soften here. Relax both shoulders into the mat. We'll take 5 slow breaths. Three more breaths. You might deepen the posture just a little bit more. When you're ready, unwind. Move into your final resting pose, Shavasana. You're going to lengthen through the legs. Heels come to touch, toes fall open. You might place the palms so they face the sky. Close the eyes. Soften your gaze. And take your final rest.
Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It is always such an honor and such a pleasure to share time and space. Until I see you all again, from my light to yours, namaste.